Hi, I'm Kim, and one of the things that I enjoy helping people with is working out their boundaries. And boundaries are very much tied up with roles and expectations. So, with work and home, where does work and where does your personal family life, home life start? Where's that crossover? It's like we've got it's like a red circle, and we have a yellow circle, and in the middle is orange. And this orange is, that boundary space, that no man's land. And this is kind of where all the magic happens. That's where you really find out what's important and what matters. And one of the ways you do that is by receiving feedback um, about how you're feeling when you're in that space. Right, so what's the transition like for you from coming home? From coming home from work to walking in the front door. Or if you're working from home, how do you make that transition to leave work behind and go into your home space? But not just how you do it, what's it feel like to be in that transition space? Is it, I can't wait to get home? Or is it, I'm going to stay longer at work because I don't really feel like being at home? Work's more fun, home's where the stress is. Or the other way around, waking up not wanting to go to work because that's too hard, and home feels better. How you feel in that transition space, I think, gives you a really great insight into what's going on. So, for example, when I reflect back to one of the earlier jobs I had in my career as a psychologist, and I wanted to stay at work. I wanted to keep learning about business and structure and everything. And going home was a bit more stressful. Those of you who have children kind of will probably understand. You just know as soon as you get home, it's all the demands on you, the attentions on you. There's meals to be cooked, there's homework to be supervised, there's kids' activities, it's a never ending demand on you when you walk through that door as a mum. And this is what I mean about insight. So if you're at work and the thought of coming home fills you with dread, that is telling you what things are like for you at home. So that transition is giving you the insight. Whereas if you're at work and you're like, I can't wait to get home, I'm sick of work, this is a pain in the butt, and I'm so looking forward to spending time with my kids. What's that telling you? Or if you're like, work's done, that feels great, now it's home time, that's okay too. So lots of different scenarios, and how that plays out is going to be really individual for everyone. But you will know. And once you have that awareness and develop that awareness, then you can do something about it. So this is just a couple of tips about how to develop the awareness. Make the most of that orange space. How are you going to transition? It's important. It's important, because otherwise what happens is you walk through the door and you're agitated, or you're deflated because of work. You're exhausted, mentally exhausted. Or you wake up and you don't want to get out of bed. So these things matter. Some of the things you can do. One, awareness. So be honest with yourself about how you're feeling and where that source of stress is coming from. This type of awareness helps you stop getting home and having displaced feelings like snapping at the kids, or drifting off in meetings and not hearing what the boss is saying. It helps you focus. It helps you be intentional. So if you're annoyed at this person or this scenario, you're not taking it out on someone else. So that's the first thing, use that transition space to tap into what's really going on for you and what you're feeling. Then, if there's a stress involved in transition, choose a stress management strategy that works for you. Some people, that might be going to the gym. Some, it might be deep breathing, might be listening to a meditation tape. It might be speaking to a friend. It might be journaling. It might be, reading a book or listening to music. However, they can be avoidant activities, and depending on how you feel, if you're still feeling stress when you finish reading, if you still feeling stress when you finish listening to something, hasn't done a great job as a stress reduction strategy. All right, so it might be you do that to start with, but then you do something else before you get home. So whatever works for you. So we want awareness, we want active stress management strategies. Those two things can both help with transitions. Also, closing the loop. So, how are you finishing up one activity, whether you're making a transition from a physical location for work or whether it's from your bedroom to the rest of the family. How are you making that transition? How are you shutting down your work? That can be physical, like, putting things away, tidying up, closing things down, ticking off your to-do list, writing a list for the next day, doing a dump of everything that was not finished. So it can be very much a physical, so you come back and you have a clear desk front, desk space, or it can be psychological. You might have an affirmation, things you tell yourself like, today I've done my best, today I was here and I did all I can to help the people that came across my space. Today I gave from my best, most authentic self, and now it's time for something else today. So, think about perhaps what you could say that could be part of that transition process. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it today. So, what happens for you in that orange space? What's that telling you about your work and home life? And what are some things you can do to make that transition space really work for you? Okay, until next time, take care, and I will talk to you then.